singers who decided we're not going to just go by the book anymore. We're going to change things. I mean, Sinatra certainly had a lot to do with that early on.
Sinatra was a great storyteller.
A storyteller from the female perspective. Because I would love to know who you look at as the pioneer women.
Well, you look at Billie Holiday, and you look at Carmen McRae as an amazing storyteller. She's very much a graphic artist, so to speak, in vocal terms. Nancy Wilson was also a really graphic singer. You look at Louis Armstrong, and there you go, the grandfather of jazz. Really, jazz vocals. Louis would really tell a story with his face. Whether it was in 4-bar phrases or not was irrelevant, because we were so lucky to see him on television so much. And what a personality. There are hundreds of them out there that brought us to this point. Unfortunately, some of them aren't paid attention to, which breaks my heart.
Today,
everything breaks my heart.
Everything breaks your heart. Today, we're just sitting around crying for ourselves. But today, we're lucky to have not only you two wonderful performers, but enough people out there. In other words, it's not impossible to find this kind of quality, to seek it out, to support it. That's the key, right? Because and now, you just go online and find YouTube examples. We were talking about Amanda Carr. God, I love her to death, and she was with us on the 4th of July. Girl. But she's doing the same thing. She's constantly promoting the fact that we're out here, guys. Yeah. Hello, knock, knock, knock.
Yep.
And when people discover her, they discover Louise, certainly when they know you, they're always impressed and amazed. And thankfully, we're still getting it done. But
still getting it done. It seems like we're clawing up the hill sometimes, though. Glad I got my nails done, Now, I think it goes without saying. And by the way, if you guys want to say hello to Rebecca Parris and Louise Van Aarsen, 617-254-1030 or 888-929-1030. Goes without saying that you have to have good musicians backing you up. Any vocalist is just thrilled to have the kind of musicians you have. How did you attract some of the people like Doug Hammer and of course Rebecca's here to your project?
Well, so for the whole recording, the CD, Rebecca gathered all the musicians, but as you mentioned, Doug Hammer, he was very important in seeing the light of life. These songs, when I would start, I would have a melody and lyrics, and Doug would help me write down the arrangements and actually go from concept to chord sheet. Then I would take it to Rebecca. We would work on the arrangements. We would work on the song. And when we were ready for recording, she got this amazing group of musicians together.
That is important for all the obvious reasons. But the palette that you're creating, whether you're assembling a classical orchestra, or in this case, I would just call this a beautiful standard orchestra of players, you have to pick the right people, don't you?
Yeah, you do. There are 3 different piano players.
Yeah.
And they're all great.
And they're all wonderful. and there are 2 different bass players. And we have percussion as well as drums. And we have guitar and saxophone. We have Arnie Krakowski, the sound. He's amazing with this huge, wonderful, gorgeous melodic sound of his. And Mike Turk on harmonica, which takes you a lot of different places, that instrument,
And then the strings.
And the strings, of course, Claudio Ragazzi, who also played guitars on the album, and he's the string arranger for it. Well, you have to find the people that, first of all, are reputable, second of all, that have respect for you in many ways, that they'll work toward what you really want. Unfortunately, a lot of singers go into the studio without somebody on their side, and if they're new at it, they can get steamrollered by the musicians. I've corrected several albums in my career as a producer, and just really having the singer come out for a chorus, and then the guys just take over for like 10 choruses, and then she comes back in for like half a chorus at the end, and you kind of like sit back and go, oh yeah, there's a singer on this album.
Something else too, and everybody here is really there. It's not phonied. It's not computer generated.
Oh no.
There are 1, 2, 3, 4 violins, a cello, of course, the harmonica. These are real musicians in a real studio.
Yeah.
And I know this is going to sound really crazy or trite or whatever, but people don't appreciate the fact that it's so much more difficult to get real guys and gals, and you have to pay them, and they're good, they're brilliant. There are some schmohawks who are doing something in their basement on a little computer, and throwing it out there and saying, "Hey, look at me!" But it takes a lot more to do what you guys are doing. It really does.
Yep, it was a basement, but it was a good one.
It was a basement. Well, it's always a basement, but I mean, it's a
basement. We spent a year and a half recording this album. The band, of course, was done with the basic tracks in a couple of days, and then eventually we added this and we added that, and we added, the percussion and the strings were the last things to go on there, and Louise worked on vocals, and
we kept it going because we were enjoying each other so much.
Yeah, we really did. We spent money just to hang out, really, in many ways. But
and our studio guy Peter has a great coffee.
Is just amazing.
So you would just go there for the coffee.
Oh yeah. I'll tell you what. Let's take a call. This is a friend of mine who calls regularly. He's an actor and he's a lovely man. This is Buck from Acton. Hello, Buck.
Hi, Jordan.
Hey, pal.
Hey, pal, you got some great guests here in Rebecca and Louise, and I'm enjoying this very much. You guys are so talented.
Oh, thank you, Buck.
Thank you.
Yeah, you are, and I can't echo enough the value of seeing live performances. That is just, my wife and son and I went to see a friend in a band, and it was to benefit a health concern, and this was in Hull, and we had a fabulous night. And my son enjoys the guitar, and just to see these performers, and yet these guys are probably in their late 50s, early 60s, and they're as youthful as if they were in their 20s or 30s.
Of course,
And one other thing I want to share. This has really captured me. I'm looking at the Facebook for Louise, and she's got this map of where Netherlands is and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And I can't believe it, but actually Netherlands is further south than Ireland or the UK.
Yeah.
Isn't that amazing? I never thought. I thought it was way up there with Sweden.
Are you kidding?
I swear to God, I did.
Yeah,
you're educating people with geography.
That's amazing. Yeah, well, they always think I speak Denmarkish, but this I haven't heard.
I really didn't realize it was. Well, it's like I'm
thanks
from
for
Maryland.
checking.
Well, it's like I'm from Maryland originally, and if you look at the map, most of Delaware, I was in northern Baltimore County through high school, most of Delaware is south of where I was. So until you look at maps, so thanks for having this on your
That's great.
as well. You're educating me in more ways than one.
Well, that's great. Buck, thank you. And I know that you're representative of many people who are really happy for Louise, and certainly always so many fans of Rebecca anyway. But thank you, my friend.
Thank you.
Take care.
Thank you.
Thanks for calling.
I wanted to ask this before we play another tune going to the break. And that is, first of all, your English is impeccable. Did you speak English as a child as well?
It's a long story, but no. But in Holland, you're inundated. You're surrounded by all these different countries. But English is spoken on TV. Like, we never synchronized our shows. So, I grew up with Dallas and Dynasty and all that stuff. And so we constantly have English around us, and it's pretty English culture, actually.
Now, the question, though, on top of that, Rebecca, did you have any concerns, or did you deal with her, and does it even matter at this point, her natural dialect?
Yeah, a little bit.
Okay.
But not much,
No,
the fun that we
words.
have is the colloquialisms, and she's learning the American, little phrases and stuff that get to be funny every now and then.
It's amazing.
Example?
You hear the Dutch ones; they're even funnier.
Yeah.
It's amazing. I've always been amazed by this. A lot of things amaze me. British singers who sound extremely American, and the one that comes to mind, and this is an old guy, Matt Monro. Do you remember Matt Monro?
Sure, I know.
What a great voice. He died too young. But there's a guy you'd never know that he was British.
Nope.
And yet, Elton John, you'd never know he's British if you. And they start talking like this, But you...
I also lived in California when I was 15 for a year.
Oh.
In Palm Springs.
That turned you American right there, right?
Yeah. Yeah, man.
Well, at least you're not talking like you're from Boston anyway, huh?
Hey, that's
I try not to. Although I like to say I'm all set.
You are.
No, I mean that's what people say here. I never knew what it meant.
Yeah,
when you're...
Louise and her husband were having dinner, and the waiter came over and said, "You guys all set?" And they said, "Yeah, thanks." So he started to take the plates away.
We thought it meant, "Are you having a good time?"
See.
But then suddenly we had no food.
Well, let's do this. Let's play more from Destiny, and it's a wonderful CD. It's by Louise Van Aarsen. We'll give you the website and her Facebook page and all that, and let's take this into the break. It's all part of this sense of destiny, isn't it? I love this tune. Very important. It's the signature one. We'll be right back.
You could belly dance to this one.
Sun is slowly falling from the sky. Our feet are playing in the sand. The sea embraces the pink evening light. Love's horizon never ends. When lovers meet, is it by chance or fate? You hold me in your arms, I hesitate. Can love be easy like a summer day? Through the winter will you stay?
I'm Scott Pelley. Join us for the CBS Evening News every weeknight at 6:30 right here on WBZ News Radio 1030. The News Watch never stops, so each weeknight we present the major developments across the country, around the world, and maybe even down your street. With the full resources of CBS News behind us, this is the most compelling look at the day's events found anywhere on TV or radio. The CBS Evening News every weeknight at 6:30 right here on WBZ News Radio 1030.
I love the looks of you, the lure of you, the sweet of you, the pure of you, the eyes, the arms, the mouth of you, the east, west, north, and the south of you. I would like to gain complete control of you and handle even the heart and soul of you. So love at least a small percent of me, do, 'cause I love all of you.
And yeah, that's Rebecca Parris, who's here with our other wonderful guest, Louise Van Aarsen. And Rebecca helped Louise along with production help and some teaching. And boy, what a successful venture that was. And by the way, that little clip of all of you was illustrative of what we were talking about, phrasing. Right? Come on.
I had Gary Burton to play with, you know.
Now, before we get out of here, because the time is a waste, and you have 3 children. Who are they?
They are Livia, who's 12, May, who's 10, and Amelie, who's 6.
So how do you have time to be a cancer researcher, a doctor of great note, now a recording artist with this beautiful CD and all the accoutrement? How do you have time to do that? You must be a very time-wise person.
Well, I don't.
Okay.
She has an amazing husband.
And my kids
and her
often...
oldest girl is... I don't know, what would you call her?
The mother?
The mother, yeah.
The mother of the house. She cleans and she'll say, "Sorry, Olivia, you're going to kill me when you hear this later."
Oh, I know, it's true.
Yes. I have to clean because you don't do it. So, yeah. But I'm so grateful that she does that. Well, she don't think she's a cleaning lady
They're
or
3
whatever.
gorgeous girls.
They're just wonderful, all of them.
Her middle child is an artist superior. Going to be one of many things. She wants to be a clothing designer or a photographer or an artist or whatever. She's amazing. And the baby is the princess.
Yeah.
I'm going to suggest that what I love about this kind of thing is that we all have a legacy, all of us, whether we pick up trash in the park, no matter what it is. But when you have something that you do, both of you, and Rebecca has been doing it with so many different styles over the years, you really do leave, not that you're going anywhere, but you're leaving behind.
Yeah, that's true.
And for the world currently, a stamp of who you are and what you want to say. It's a neat concept, isn't it?
I was just talking to a friend about that tonight, that at least, yeah, whatever happens, I created something, and I'm leaving this, and I hope people enjoy it. We'll speak to them.
Now, you also
it sounds
are
terrible,
curing
but it's
cancer
true.
at the same time. You're a real big shot. You know that, don't you?
Oh, I don't know.